today hasn't gone as intended. So here I am at home. Yeah, I'm supposed to be at work. Our wonderful beloved van died again overnight. It picks up weird electrical quirks overnight. About a month ago, the fan wouldn't turn off. Turn the van off, the fan doesn't turn off. Well, of course, if you leave the van with that fan running, the battery's dead. This morning, when I was supposed to be going to work, we came out and she tried to use the automatic uh, locking mechanism for the car door, and it just started clicking incessantly. And then when she tried to start it, the battery was dead. So there's something going on with the electrical in that van, and we've already sunk 2,500 into it in the last 3 months. So yeah, the thing is, I live about 30 kilometers from my workplace. For those of you south of the border, that's like 15 to 20 miles. And so I can't exactly walk there or ride a bike. I mean, I could, but I'd have to be riding along the highway. And Highway 1 at night, in the daytime, winter, spring, summer, fall, you don't ride a bike along Highway 1 is the point. Um, Highways in Canada, as opposed to the US, the speed limit up here is higher. Longer stretches, you can go a lot faster, and yeah, no thanks. So I'm not feeling that. Um, so I'm in a position now where I'm working on my resume today. I'm working on getting that out and tracking political stuff going on south of the border. That's fascinating because I think this is historical, as I said in the video yesterday, and dealing with the fact that I'm close to 2,000 subscribers, so close, 3 away, and I haven't even gone through this yet. Why don't we just go on through it? And it's funny because I hear HMV's closing, and they're closing all their stores across Canada, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who are going to say, "Oh, I haven't gone to HMV in years." Yeah, there's a lot of people who haven't gone to HMV in years. The point is, because of the van we've been using, Yvonne and I like to listen to CDs in the van, and it's reminded me of how it felt to not just listen to a song from a band, but actually have to listen to an entire album. And it seems to be a dying art. So it's been fun, and I just bought 3 new CDs on Friday. I got her 2 more Beatles CDs, and I got the brand new Pretty Reckless CD, which is awesome. The only song I don't like is the actual single from the album. Figure that one out. I just think Take Me Down is very generic and very bland, but it's a single, and that's kind of what happens. And very clearly, if anybody buys a Pretty Reckless CD, try to pick out which songs she or her band wrote while listening to Tool, to Led Zeppelin, and potentially to Tina Turner. I definitely heard 70s Tina Turner in one of the songs there, and I'm like, wait, this really sounds like Proud Mary. And then one song, when it started, and this is the first time I've ever heard it, I heard the guitar whine, and I started belting out the lyrics to Dazed and Confused, and Yvonne laughed because she heard it too. And I was like, wow, they are not even hiding that it's just the guitar at the start, it's exactly Dazed and Confused. It's actually a lot of fun. But the first 2 songs on the album, Tool, I listen, I'm like, wait, Tool? Because the beat changes. It's different. It's very complex percussion, and I'm like, that is Tool. So, anyways, on to this. I'm talking about the top 10 logos thing. I don't think I shared that one with you guys. The top 10 NHL rookie classes of all time. So they say the 79-80 rookie class with Gretzky, Messier, Bourque, Gartner, and Prop was number 1. Of course, Gretzky's rookie year was the year before in the WHA, so was Messier's. 80-81 comes in second with Paul Coffey, Jari Kurri, Peter Stastny, Larry Murphy, Denny Savard, Dino Ciccarelli, Glenn Anderson. It's a pretty damn solid list. 90-91 comes in third with Jaromir Jagr, Matt Sundin, Sergei Fedorov, Ed Belfour, Rob Blake, Curtis Joseph, and Peter Bondra. That's the year that I've been getting hockey cards from, because that's when collecting was at its peak, and every card was massively overproduced, so I can still get them cheap. Number 4 on the list is 71-72. Guy Lafleur, Ken Dryden, Marcel Dion, Rick Martin, Reggie Leach. It's a damn good list. Lafleur, Dryden, and Dion. Wow. Number 5 is 2005-2006 with the asterisk because this was after the lockout. So this is 2 rookie classes in one. Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, Henrik Lundqvist, Shea Weber, Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaf. I think. No, I don't remember if Kessler. I don't think Kessler qualified as a rookie that year. Number 6 is 92-93 with Teemu Selanne, Scott Niedermayer, Eric Lindros, Alex Kovalchuk, Sergei Zubov, Keith Tkachuk, and Ray Whitney. Number 7, 81-82 with Ron Francis, Grant Fuhr, Dale Hawerchuk, Joe Mullen, Neil Broughton, Thomas Steen. That's insane. 79-80, 80-81, 81-82, 83-84, 84-85 are both in here too. 84-85 is 8th with Mario Lemieux, Chris Chelios, Kirk Muller, Ed Olczyk, and John Van Beesbrook. 83-84, Steve Yzerman, Doug Gilmour, Cam Neely, and Tom Barrasso. And then 10th place is 07-08 with Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, Carey Price, and Nick Backstrom. Wowzers. Those are some fantastic draft classes. Or rookie classes, sorry. I always get draft stuck in my head. So, yeah, rookies. Rookies. And then they've got the 5 most confusing NHLers in here. They have Brian Elliott, Tyler Bozak, Bobby Ryan, John Klingberg, and Chris Russell. I'll do this quick. Ryan Elliott, overrated in St. Louis. I could have told you that last year. Tyler Bozak is a really solid depth guy, and people are just finding this out. Bobby Ryan was finished a while ago. John Klingberg probably overachieved last year. His numbers have scaled back. He's still a solid defenseman, will bounce back. And Chris Russell, despite his advanced stats being garbage, he's a decent defenseman. He's not a bad defenseman. It's just because the advanced stats guys hate him, and the normal stats guys like him, nobody can agree on what he is. You got a big article in here on Patrick Laine. Started out as a goaltender. Not many people know that, I guess. And then the baby bunch or baby boom in Toronto. And it is impressive. I mean, it's page after page after page of Leafs rookies. I'm not getting into it. But, wow, there are a lot of rookies in Toronto this year. And they've got a page-long article on each one of them. Ahead of his time, Zach Werenski gets along right up in here. And then they talk about New York's 3 rookies. All right, rookie spotlight. So this is spotlighting the guys who haven't made their mark yet, or they figure is under the radar. Austin Charnik in Boston, he's been good. He's a depth guy. I don't think he's ever going to be top 6. And it says here he's 5'9", 167. Yeah, to me he's like a more talented version of Jordan Trader, and I don't know if he's ever gonna be top 6 because of it. For Buffalo, they talk about William Carrier. I always thought it was Carrier until I heard it in a Buffalo game. So William Carrier. He's been okay in games I've watched. I don't know. I don't know what his offensive upside is, but he's workable. Carolina, they talk about Sebastian Aho. I've talked about Aho. Very good player. Very good, very solid player. And he's already playing like a veteran, even though he's a rookie. Oliver Bjorkstrand, he's down in the AHL for the most part this year. Really haven't seen anything of him. Anthony Mantha, he was a bust up until this year. There were a lot of people saying bust with Anthony Mantha. Detroit should just trade him, just ditch him, trade him. This is why when I hear Canucks fans talk about Jake Virtanen, I say, no, wait. I'm not saying trade him. I'm saying leave him in the AHL and let him learn the game. Mantha, a good example of that. Detroit is riddled with players who are good examples of that mentality. So Mantha has really come around, and now he's a key guy for Detroit going forward. Florida, they talk about Dennis Malgin. Malkin's a good, serviceable player. Again, a lot of these guys, we get excited about rookies. You see a rookie, you go, oh man, I can see he's going to be this or he's going to be that. A lot of these guys are going to be serviceable, and serviceable means they might be top 9, they might be a fourth liner. They're able to do their job and not hurt the team. So if I say serviceable, it means he's not screwed up in any games I've watched yet. In Montreal, Artturi Lehkonen. Lehkonen is good. I don't know how well his hands are going to develop. I don't know if he's going to become a good offensive forward, or if he's going to be more of a Lars Eller, where he is kind of good at both ends of the game, not essential at either end of the ice. That's why he was kind of expendable for Montreal in the offseason last year. Miles Wood in New Jersey. That kid impressed me a lot in games I've watched of Jersey so far. I really thought it was funny, the whole story of him with number 8, that he said if Ovechkin didn't. Yeah, as a boy, Wood wrote to Alex Ovechkin telling Ovi he would hit him hard once he got to the NHL if an autograph wasn't provided. So Ovechkin took a picture with him and autographed it so that Wood wouldn't drive him through the boards. I thought it was a cute story. And then on the Islanders, they talk about Anthony Beauvillier. He's been good. There's a lot of young players in New York. It's kind of been a mess. Under Doug Weight, it seems to be coming together, but we'll see after the All-Star break, if that continues or if there's a problem. Rangers, they mentioned Ryan Graves, who's in the AHL, and he'd been in 2 previous Memorial Cups. Since he's in the AHL, I don't have an opinion on him. Colin White in Ottawa, who hasn't debuted yet. Colin White's in a lot of trade rumors. There's a lot of teams want him. And I don't know if Ottawa feels like they're ready to contend so they can just ditch a prospect like Colin White. I don't think they will. We'll see what happens. And then with Philly, they mentioned that it was either going to be Konechny or Provorov they talk about Provorov. I think Konechny's fantastic. I think he's going to be solid, and Provorov is the complete package. He's everything you want in a defenseman. Philly's been up and down this year. They could potentially miss the playoffs. The worst mistake that Ron Hextall could make, and I don't think he'll make it, would be to just panic. Let this team go wherever it's going to go. If it's going to miss the playoffs, it misses the playoffs. Fix your goaltending in the offseason. And these kids, including Konechny and Provorov and all these really good young defensemen coming up, Philly's going to be really dangerous in a couple years. Pittsburgh, to talk about Jake Guentzel. Guentzel didn't stand out badly for them in any game I watched, and yeah, it's impressive how many young kids that we may not hear much about that Pittsburgh calls up, and they happen to become the next Connor Sheary or Brian Russ. So maybe Guentzel's another one of those guys. Tampa, Braden Point. He's been all right. Toronto, Frederick Gauthier. Gautier's been forgotten outside of Toronto. I imagine inside Toronto, I don't think any prospect's forgotten. Everything has gone over with a fine-tooth comb. But outside of Toronto, Gauthier is kind of a forgotten guy, and it's probably better for Gauthier anyways, because he's not a key top 6 forward type guy, but he could be a good glue guy for them. Jakub Vrana for the Capitals. He is not yet a regular for the Caps. I think he will be next year. They're going to need him to be. Ondrej Kase in Anaheim starts the West Coast here, Western Conference. Kase's been good. Kase is a very smart forward, it seems, and he again, a lot of these rookies that come in, they look ready, and Kase, from the games I've seen of him, he's ready. Speaking of which, Arizona, they have Jakob Chychrun. Chychrun is playing a lot more minutes than I think any of us thought he would coming into this season, other than maybe Jason Chayka. I think it's Jason Chayka. Chayka's the name of the... I want to get it right before looking. Because then I can say, oh, I got it, I remembered. But I don't want to get it wrong, upload the video, and then people want, you pronounced it wrong. You didn't get it right. Yeah, John Chayka. Oh, God. I said Jason. I meant John Chayka. It's almost like John Chayka. Jacob Heimer-Schmidt. I know it's Jingleheimer. I'm just bugging you. All right. Anyways, Jakob Chychrun. Chychrun's been pretty good for them. and he's having the growing pains you're going to have in Arizona. I don't know that anybody on Arizona's blue line's been fantastic. Ekman Larsson's kind of being run into the ground a little bit, but that's what happens. Calgary, they talk about Garnet Hathaway. I haven't seen anything of him. Yeah, see, he's on their fourth line. So I haven't really seen anything of Hathaway, which means he's not standing out badly. This is the thing with a rookie is you don't want. Well, you see, he takes the move on the outside, goes right around Hathaway, and then he goes splits the D and gets it on the net. That's the key. Chicago, Ryan Hartman. Hartman's been really good. Hartman, Forsling, Kiro, a lot of good young players in Chicago, which is why I was surprised to read on the Hockey News that they feel like Chicago should retool right now or rebuild because they're stupid. Yeah, Chicago's got about 4 or 5 really good young players to go along with their still in their prime core. Rip it apart. This is a perfect time. Ugh, idiots. Colorado's got Mikko Rantanen. Rantanen is a good forward who hopefully doesn't pick up on the losing that's going on around him. I don't know that Rantanen makes any of the key forwards for Colorado expendable, but we'll see. I know Rantanen's not going anywhere. Dallas, Esa Lindell. Lindell has struggled. He has not been the force that I think Dallas expected. They seem to be really hyped up about him, and I had concerns because it's a rookie. You don't want to put too much pressure on a rookie, especially when you've got a team that's coming off of a first place finish in your division. Don't take a rookie defenseman and throw him in top 4, but it certainly seems like that's what's been happening some nights. Yeah, it says here his numbers were 1850 in October and 2153 from December onward. So he's been playing a larger role, and I think it's potentially too much for him. Edmonton, Jesse Puljujarvi. Remember what I said about writing off Anthony Mantha? Yeah, Jesse Puljujarvi's the same thing. You don't look at Puljujarvi and go, oh, he's a flop. Don't compare him to Austin Matthews. Don't compare him to other guys because you can't compare one player to another because every player is different. I could truck out guys who had fantastic rookie years and flamed out. So don't look at a guy's rookie year and say whether he's good or he's crap because you just don't know. L.A. Derek Forbort. Wow. I gotta say he was drafted 15th in 2010. I never thought he was gonna make it. I never thought Forbort was gonna make it. He has. He's been good. Games I've watched, he's quite the player. And he says here he's topping 22 minutes a game right now. So LA's got a top 4 defenseman finally. It only took them 6 years to get there, but whatever it takes, as long as you get there. Yeah, Minnesota, only Joel Eriksson Ek made a noteworthy splash among wild rookies, and Eriksson Ek is a really, really good player. And he ended up back in Sweden after 9 games. Yeah, Eriksson Ek is going to be a top 6 forward. Tyler Graovac is on the 4th line. They talk about him in here. 6'5". He's not a scorer, but he's very good physical forward. UC Saros in Nashville. This is their next starting goaltender. Saros is absolutely going to be the starter in Nashville, and I really think he's got a lot of talent. I'd be very surprised if he's not the starter as soon as next year. Kevin Labanc for San Jose. I don't like San Jose. I like Labanc's moxie. I like anytime a rookie, as I've said, can come in out of nowhere with very little hoopla or hype and just blow our doors off. And that's what Labanc has done. He's not going to keep scoring at the pace he did when he first came in, but he's a good player. So San Jose definitely has that going for them. And St. Louis, there were no rookies in the first half of 2017, but Ivan Barbashev is on the precipice. His numbers are okay in the AHL. I'll be very interested to see if they translate to the NHL. And it's funny because some players really dominate in the AHL and then they don't in the NHL. And sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes a player will struggle in the AHL, get to the NHL, and they're fine. Vancouver, Troy Stecher. Lost in a lot of what happens in Vancouver whether it's Jim Benning sucks, or they need a new goaltender, or they need to tank, or whatever's going on. Troy Stecher is emerging as a story in Vancouver. This kid has shown a lot of poise. He reminds me of Alex Edler when Edler first came into the NHL. Very, very good defenseman. Smart, solid, and unlike Edler, he hasn't been beat up for the last 5 years. So, very good defenseman. I'm really hoping that he can form a really good top four with some of the young guys Vancouver has. There was a lot made about Vancouver's defense by me, even. And there was a belief that Vancouver's defense was one of the worst, if not the worst, in the NHL. I stated it was the worst. They have managed to, through Trampkin, Stecher, and I can't say Goodbranson, he's not playing right now. But yeah, primarily those two guys have helped to shore up that defense a little bit sooner than I think any of us expected. Hutton is solid. There's a lot to like on Vancouver's blue line. They still need that top four. They need Juolevi to be the guy that they've drafted him to be. If he can be a top two defenseman, if he can be a power play point man once Edler's moved on, this is a really dangerous looking blue line. I like it a lot. I still think Goodbranson's going to cost them too much money. I still think that trade was iffy because I like Trampkin that much. People have, latched onto that video of me not being happy about McCann being traded, and they latched on right away to my hatred of Goodbranson. I don't have a hatred of Goodbranson. I just think that with Trampkin, it's the same thing. Trampkin is the same as Goodbranson, but with more upside in terms of his offense. He hits more than Goodbranson. And I think, honestly, once Trampkin stops taking hits the way that he sometimes does, it's almost as if he's surprised when he gets hit sometimes. You know, the idea that you punch a shark in the face and that scares it off because it's not used to getting punched in the face? That's kind of the feeling I get with Trampkin when he gets hit sometimes. Like, wait, somebody hit me. Coach, somebody hit me. Go hit him back. Like you expect Desjardins. Like, you go hit him. Don't you take that crap off him. You get out on that playground. You go hit him back, Mister. That's the feeling I sometimes get with Trampkin. So once he mans up a little bit, and I don't say that in a mean way. I just mean that, play your size. He's the opposite of Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi used to just run everything over as if he had no idea how big he was. He was the big kid on the schoolyard that didn't understand that the kids that were 3 years younger than him, he probably shouldn't be playing football with them, but he ran him over. And then looked back and was like, oh, kid's bleeding out of his ears. I don't know what happened. You happened, Bertuzzi. You happened. And Trampkin's kind of got he has the size to be like that, but he won't. So you got to find that medium there. But back to Stecher, this kid has the offense that is a good second option on the point. I really think that the first option on the point hopefully becomes Juolevi. Very, very excited about the defense they could put together. Winnipeg, Josh Morrissey. Morrissey has finally come through. I know last year, and again, it's so quick for people to just go bust. And there were some who saw Morrissey as being iffy on whether or not he's going to develop. He looks good now. Whether or not that offense ever becomes what they drafted him to be, he wasn't a top 5 draft pick anyways. So if a guy becomes a top 4 defenseman, that's a good draft pick. I don't really care as much about the point totals, but I know the fans will. But it's going to be interesting to watch because of these rookies I've mentioned, some of them are going to be keepers, and some of them 3 or 4 years from now are going to be out of the league. That's just reality. Absolute reality. Your top rookies are not always the guys who are the top guys 5 years down the road. So, anyways, that's my look at the rookies. Let me know in the comments below which rookies have stood out for you. I didn't touch the Toronto rookies because I've talked about them a lot lately. So, and I'll likely be talking about them again coming out of the All-Star game, or Matthews once I've seen the All-Star game today. So, there's that. Anyways, I hope everybody's having a good Sunday, and that everybody's vehicle works where mine didn't. but I'm able to do a video for you guys early today, so there's a benefit here. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. 2,000 subscribers is just the beginning. I really truly believe that. That's just the beginning. Whatever's going on with my work, whatever's going on anywhere else, I appreciate everybody on this channel for supporting me. Uh, I pay attention to every comment on my channel, and the only time that I may mute anything or I may uh, lower the ban hammer is if somebody's just really just crappy about something, or there's a lot of fighting or crap going on. I'll just say no. This channel's not about that, and it never will be. So I've stated that from the beginning. I've stayed true to that till now, and there is a 2,000 video coming. Once I hit that number, I have created a beautiful image for that moment that should make people happy. It's not necessarily all my favorite stuff that's in the image I've created using the GIMP 2 software, which is free. But it's good. It's gonna have a nice 2,000 on it and awesome. Anyways, yeah, thanks, and I'm gonna watch the All-Star game. You guys should watch the All-Star games too. Technically, it's All-Star games. There's 3 of them, so I'm gonna see how long I can make it through these games. I'm gonna try because they can get kind of boring. So, all right. Thanks for watching. And as I said, let me know which rookies you like and which ones you think are flying under the radar. I will talk to you all again soon.